Alright.
Alright, we are recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Sea of Blue. I am Jake, as usual. I'm still studying theater, still in college, all that jazz. But enough about me. Let's get into my guest. Hello!
How are you all today?
Oh, they didn't hear the first part. You cut out.
Hello.
There you go.
How are you guys today?
So today we're going to be talking about 3 different subjects. I want to keep them a surprise until we get there, but we're going to start with the obvious. What are you up to right now? What's going on in your life?
So I'm at college right now. I'm living away from my parents
What
for the
college?
first time.
What college?
Ithaca College.
Okay.
So it's really nice here. I mean, I'm living away from my parents for the first time, so it's certainly been an enlightening experience to how real life's going to be as soon as I finish college.
What are you studying?
I am studying writing for film, TV, and emerging media.
Nice.
There we go.
Alright, so we're going to get into our first subject of the day. Wow, speaking. Which is video games.
Alright.
And so our first question is just kind of an introduction to the topic, sort of like what we did last week. Obviously, this time it's about video games. So, how does video games shape your everyday lives in general? Like, okay, so I'll begin. I play video games literally every day. If not, maybe there might be like 1 day a month or 2 days a month that maybe I just I'm not available to, but otherwise I am on them all the time. If I have free time, that is something that is always on my mind. And yeah, in general, I just play a lot. I don't know about you.
So I play a lot as well. I haven't played as much recently because I've been trying to focus on all my classes, so that's been the main focus here. Yeah, part of my major involves doing writing for video games and storylines and all that. Not exactly like the programming and coding of it, but I can part of like the professions that are within my major are the story writers for like games like Dark Souls, Breath of the Wild, Mario, even though that doesn't require too much writing. But yeah, so I mean, I play a lot. I do play a lot of video games. It's just something I do a lot. I'm not particularly good at any of them. I just tend to have fun playing them.
All right. So we're going to talk about some of the games that are popular in the community right now, sort of. And I've come to this conclusion when looking at all of the games that have been releasing lately, and we'll get into them. They're very multiplayer heavy now. Games are very multiplayer heavy now, specifically the ones that are more popular. They have to have like some sort of multiplayer element, it seems, for them to blow up as they have. So, first of all, we're going to talk about the biggest game that is out right now, which is called Among Us. If you guys don't know what Among Us is, basically up to 10 people that are crewmates have to go around and fix a ship while doing simple tasks, while avoiding 1 or 2 imposters, depending on how many people you have. And those imposters' goal is to try to kill the rest of the crewmates without anyone finding the bodies and getting caught. And crewmates win if they catch all of the imposters. It's a very simple game concept, but it has blown up all over the world, and literally everyone and their mother is playing it right now.
Among Us is an interesting game to say the least. It's one of those games that I haven't gotten into until recently. Just like kind of when I started, like when I like finally like got a PC working up again, I said, let's check it out. And actually, my roommate bought it for me because he owed me some money. But that's about. I played it a few times already. I haven't religiously like messed around with it. As for what I think of the game, it's extremely reliant on who you're playing with, because oftentimes I'm stuck playing with just a bunch of idiots who don't really know what they're doing, and it all depends on like how charismatic you are, and that's good or bad in a way, because you can either be really good at lying or just really good at like just like understanding when people are lying. So it's just about like if you're playing with people you know, it's a lot more interesting. When you're playing with total strangers, you just kind of get frustrated about it.
All right. So another game that also blew up in popularity this year is called Fall Guys. This game also, while being like a party game, is sort of incorporating the battle royale aspect, but also turning it into like a fun party game that has like it's not so much like a death battle. It's sort of like race to the end while going through different stages. Also, a very simple game, but it has also blown up insanely. Um, I have not personally put too many hours into Fall Guys. I have played it, um, but I have not spent too much time with the game. But it's fun, but I think after a while it does get a little bit tiring and annoying when you get the same levels over and over again, because the variety of levels isn't honestly that large. There's only a few.
Well,
Um,
they did this. Well, with this new season that came out, they did add a bunch of new themed levels to
yeah.
go with it.
Okay. Well, I have
So
not played that, so
yeah, I
thank you
played
for
a few
letting
of
me know.
those.
All right. So I'm sure they will add more. It's just in the
Yeah,
first season there was not too many, so I think going into seasons, as long as they don't make any drastic changes to the format like they've done with Fortnite and other things like this, I think it could become even more popular as seasons go on. So next game I have not currently played, but this is also starting to blow up a lot. It's called Phasmophobia. It's basically it's literally like you're putting yourself into your TV and you're playing the embodiment of a ghost hunter TV show.
I
Um,
have never played this game, and it sounds interesting, but I don't know how well I would like enjoy it. It just sounds
yes.
like I'm sure if it's a successful game, there's probably plenty of people who do. So
It is very scary for sure. I've watched a lot of gameplay and it is probably the scariest game that's probably come out this year. So far. Although there hasn't been too many scary games that have come out this year. One of the games I didn't have down on my list, that I think comes out this year is the new Five Nights at Freddy's game that's coming out on PS5 and um, Steam for a limited time. I did find this out that it will be on Steam, but I think only for like a 3 month period you can buy it, which is weird, but whatever. Um, but yeah, this game. I did have friends ask me if I did want to play it, but I mean, I've seen gameplay. It looks fun, but I don't think, in comparison to Among Us and Fall Guys, I feel like this game, uh, literally wouldn't be like any fun on your own. So that's the
that
only
makes
down.
sense. I'm not
That's the only
not
downside I
some,
see.
a lot of games that are happening that are out right now that are popular within like the community. Most of them you can enjoy as long as by playing by yourself, but you need it's games are always more fun to play when you're like talking with other people and experiencing the same thing as well. It's just a sense of camaraderie, and that goes along with like the situation we have in real life with like you can't really talk to people. So the best way that us gamers can get close together is by playing games together over Discord or maybe even Skype if you're still in that era of time. So it's a matter of just like playing together just makes things more fun usually because I could play games like Overwatch for hours on end, but I find it exponentially more enjoyable when I'm like playing with somebody I know, where I find like a solid team who are like willing to talk and make conversation while we're playing.
Video games, because of quarantine, has turned from just something you used to love to do before into something that is so important now as like a distressor in these times. Video games during this whole pandemic is literally like my main stress reliever. And I mean playing games like Among Us is definitely like stressful, but like but like when you're playing with your friends and stuff, like I mean it's more fun. And what you said about like voice chats and stuff, like it's so rough that like we can't really see each other, especially since now we live so much farther away from each other now that you're in New York. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like obviously like I can see you now. But like, there's no other really way we can really communicate other than video games, really, with how busy we've been with school.
Unless you just want to unless you want to hop in a car and make the drive
No,
up here.
no, definitely not. Not, no. Um, but yeah, like, so this could actually be a good transition into the next portion, which is talking about a game that we have been playing since we were both like 8 together, and that is Minecraft. So
Minecraft.
For those who don't know, and probably don't know, because I don't really play Minecraft on stream very much. I've played it like a little bit. Zach and I have been playing Minecraft together since the very beginning. We have gone through many stages of Minecraft obsession. For anyone that was an OG of mine, my old username was Pokemon Crazy 123.
I remember those days. I was in several YouTube videos with him using this alias.
Yes. I used to post Minecraft videos a lot. They're all gone now. Don't even ask. I think. I don't know. Because I know I made a new YouTube channel, I think, eventually. But I can't remember. I think I could just completely deleted it, the YouTube channel, and just made a new one. But that was my old username. Yeah, we started...
One of his old contents was actually he made Minecraft parodies, but they weren't like fancy animations. It was just him running around in circles in a small little platform he built.
Yes, it was terrible, and...
It was the peak comedy of life for us back then.
Oh, back then it was hilarious. I remember one of them specifically was a cover of Bruno Mars's I can't remember the Locked Out of Heaven. I think it was like
Locked Out of Heaven.
I remember that because we had like a build that was like in the sky that was like a cloud, and it was
so funny because
it was so funny.
One of our friends Ben and I, we were watching it together, and we kind of just we sat there laughing the entire time.
It's great,
and it was a great time.
It was very fun. And then we also had Dumb Ways to Die. I remember we worked on the Dumb Ways to Die parody for days. Oh my god. And I don't even think... That took forever. Oh my god.
It took forever. And it still wasn't good, because it was just a bunch of, like, preteens writing, like, parodies and just figure out, okay, what rhymes with
Not even preteens. We were like 10.
Oh, yeah. It was certainly...
It was a time. It was a period in our life that we will never forget. And we're still playing Minecraft to this day. I haven't mentioned this on my stream yet, but I do have a Minecraft server running with Zach. I mean, we've had, speaking of that, we've had many iterations of a Minecraft server, him and I. We had I think 2 different Minecraft realms that were like the first ones. One of which I remember.
In reality, when we played on the realms, it really just became us playing like a crap ton of mini games.
Yes, it did. It definitely did. But then we actually like made a Minecraft server last year. Or no, I guess it was this year. Yeah, it was.
No, it was like late. It was early December when we made it last year, and then it just continued on until late summer this year.
Yeah. So we did that. That was the first iteration. We called it DragonCraftZee. We ran that. It was basically just us playing with a lot of our close friends and like people I'd been talking with online. And
so to give context for this Minecraft server, a series that I've always come to appreciate that I can watch over and over on YouTube it was done by Captain Sparkles and some of his friends. Well, not originally, but it was called Maya Night. And it's always been like a dream of mine to create a storyline as like immersive and well done as that Minecraft server did. So I attempted to mimic it within this server, and long story short, it just didn't work out. if we had more dedicated players, we could, and the fact that just like I don't know enough about like coding and command blocks to really make it work, and so it just gives me more respect for the people who actually did that series. But honestly, like the server was really fun, and we had a lot of good laughs and time and all out bloodbath. But you know, it worked out.
Mm-hmm. And now, starting, like what, 5 days ago? Like 5 days ago, I think I just made the decision to, after about a 2-month break, buy another Minecraft server, which this one's actually bigger and has more RAM than the last one, which is really nice because I have not experienced like any lag at all because of this upgrade, which is great. Reason why we upgraded is because we combined the old MC server that we had, DragonCraft Bloo, and we combined a big Discord that I'm in called Summoner's Tavern, which is ran by one of my good childhood friends, Chris. We ran it in there, and we basically combined the two Discords into one, and now Summoner's Tavern is like huge, and so Summoner's Tavern, basically I'm running their Minecraft server, and now we have like a few new like people coming in and playing. I think maybe after a while, once we actually like develop what we want the server to actually like be, which Chris
right now it's just a minor faction server, and tensions are growing between yours and my faction.
Yes, right now it's just a minor faction server, but I think from what people and what specifically Chris, the head of the server, is telling me, it sounds like he wants to do a Tekkit server, which I've personally never really had much experience in Tekkit.
So to provide my opinion on Tekkit as a Minecraft mod, so just a little background, Minecraft mods have been like a huge part of my life. Like one of our mutual friends, Blast Rider, I won't mention his real name for privacy's sake, but he actually introduced me to Minecraft mods, and he and I have he and I together have just like built modded worlds from like the ground up. And so what I found out is like, if we were to do a Tekkit server, I would like it not just to be Tekkit and to have like other, like a mod pack that just includes the Tekkit mods in there, because that way I could actually enjoy it. Because as much as I appreciate the technology mods, I do like the more fantasy based ones, like the Dragons mod, or maybe even like more dimensions, like the Aether. So it comes down to just like what people's playstyle is, because I just like to, as a writer, I like world building, and Tekkit, the entirety of Tekkit is honestly just like, it's mods that provide extra steps to make life easier in Minecraft, and just a bunch of automation. So because Tekkit, there's an end to what you can actually do. I like the mods that are just infinite.
Yeah, I personally, for me, would rather want to do, if we were to do like one of those big mod packs, I think Hexit would be better.
Well, no, because with Hexit, you get rid of all the technology aspects. So what I would like is a balance between the two, because what you find in like modern mod packs so far is you have a lot of fantasy or you have a lot of technology, and when you do one without the other, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Like a lot of times, like you sometimes don't have a backpack mod, or a mod that I really like personally is the ME system with applied energistics, I believe is the mod that it uses, and that just it nullifies the reason I have a chest room, and it's just fantastic with organization. So I like those mods that provide like convenience and make life easier, but at the same time I like the adventure-based mod packs. Part of the reason why I like RL Craft so much.
That is another thing that people are saying. That would be a good in between, right? It'd be hard. It'd be really hard.
So with RL Craft, I feel like the main issue that you have with running a Minecraft server with people who are not like heavy gamers, because a lot of the people who are on the server right now can't really run games like that can crack, because a lot of the computers that our friends have are weak, and not like you and I who have like an actual gaming PC. So it becomes like an issue when it comes to like what can people run and what can't people run. Because RL Craft, just right now, I can automatically think of like several people who their computers might actually like just explode if they tried to boot up Warcraft.
I think for now we're probably just gonna stick with vanilla survival for a little bit longer until we come to a decision.
Right. Then we could always do just a huge poll and just have people like suggest like 5 mods that they want into a mod pack, and then I could probably like form one together and I could get Blast Rider's help because he's good at this stuff.
Yeah. We'll have to figure that out in the coming months, because I did already pay. I already did pay for, I think 3 months already. So we're good. So next, we're gonna use this, or actually, we can talk about this before we move on. So we're gonna talk about our number 1 games as of right now, what you've spent the most time in the past current. Mainly this is just a segue just so I could talk about this game for a while. So, if you're new to my stream, if you've never been here before, you know I play a shit ton of League of Legends. I've been playing this game, I think I started, my cousin, introduced this game to me, I think about 7 years ago, because I think I started playing during NAR's release, I think back in 2013. But I never really got into it until 2.5 years ago. League has been a big part of my life the past 2.5 years. I have been playing it too much. I have too much time on my hands when it comes to that game. And I still can't get bored of the game. And there's a new season that comes out in the next month, or like in a month, actually. But I main Lux. Not really. I play a lot of different characters, but she's just the one I have the most points on. I play mid lane and support mostly, especially in ranked. I just reached Silver 2. I was at Silver 3 for a while, but I finally got to Silver 2. And yeah, we've had in Summoner's Tavern, that's what the server's based around, is League of Legends. And a lot of my friends in there just started playing this past year, and some of them have gotten really good already, and it's actually kind of crazy how good they've gotten in such a short period of time. So I'm very proud of my friends in Summoner's Tavern. If any of them are listening to this podcast, because I'll post it in there later, hello. Say hi.
Hello, I'm the face behind DragonCraftZee.
Yeah, yes, this is true.
So, when it comes to like games, like the games that I put a lot of time into, there's a decently long list. But the main games that I put a lot of time into are Minecraft, Overwatch, Team Fortress 2, and what else? Slime Rancher and Warframe. So when it comes to Overwatch, I haven't actually put any money into the game, which just makes sense because you don't need to. But I have put a lot of hours into just playing the game. I don't actually play competitive enough to like be considered good at the game, but my main is Lucio. Like that's kind of who I've exclusively decided to play, just because I'm one of the people who prefers mobility in a character above all else. And I'm also just good at support. I'm the legendary Boostio. And when it comes to Slime Rancher, I actually discovered the game through YouTube, and I just thought one day, I could probably do this. It's a good, relaxing game. It's one of the few games that I honestly like consider like something I could play for hours on end and not talk to anybody else. Like I could put on lo-fi and just rank some slimes. Team Fortress 2, according to Steam, I have over 1,000 hours into that game.
Holy!
Because when I was in middle school, when I got my first computer, Team Fortress 2 was the game that I played the most, because it was the only game I had because it was free.
Yeah. And
I played that game religiously. I never got any good at it because I honestly just sat there as an engineer or or ran around a scout. But I mean, honestly, like Team 2 is like what was the segue for me into like multiplayer games online, because my parents at the time were just like, yeah, Call of Duty's way too violent for you. You're like 12. so let's not get that for you and expose you to that. They also didn't want me hearing swear words all over the internet, so that was a big issue. But Team Fortress 2, they found it's still violent as all heck, but it's better than Call of Duty to them. So they let me play it, and I ended up getting like over 1,000 hours on it. But and then Minecraft, of course, I play too much of it because there's always something for me to do, modded or not, and I always have like a bunch of friends, and at this point, it's just something I've become accustomed to doing.
And now that we have a server, it's like we can
we have a server with friends. You have a reason to just flex on them all.
Exactly, and
because as much as as much as some of our friends will hate to admit, there is a point in time when you can become like good at Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, and then the final game that I spend like a crap ton of time in is Warframe, and it's a game that two of my friends got me into. One of them is my roommate. He's great, bless his heart, even though he's a lunatic. So both of them are leagues better than me in the game because I've never really gotten too far in it. But
we need to get back on that game.
We do need to get back on that game. We actually have a guild in there that we just haven't really done much.
Homeless NSP!
Yeah, Homeless NSP. That is us.
For those who don't know what that means, it means Homeless Ninja Sex Party. Woo!
Yes, that is what we do. Because we're just a bunch of cybernetic homeless ninjas.
Yes.
The sex party part is debatable because, we're a bunch of gamers.
Yes.
So yeah, actually earlier this year over the summer, Jake actually showed me a trailer for League of Legends, and up until now, you showed me the one with like the samurais and stuff.
I do not remember.
You were just like, "Hey, Zach, you should totally watch this." And
the cinematic, yes.
The cinematic trailer or whatever. But,
for those League of Legends players, the specific cinematic that I showed him was the reveal trailer for Yone.
So what ended up happening was just like I'm a huge anime nerd because and I'm also half Japanese, so I sort of fit the stereotype that is. And just watching two guys fight with ninja swords or samurai swords was like really cool to me. So there's been that voice in the back of my head that says, "Why don't you try League of Legends? What's the worst that could happen, right?"
No, and the thing is, you have so many friends that play it, especially like in Summoner's Tavern. You'll be able to find people to play with so easily, and I'm always on it. So, yeah, I will gladly teach you.
I have noticed like every time I see, but then I'm just like, I'd be so new. I actually, believe it or not, Chris, who's the owner of the Summoner's Tavern server, I can't remember if it was League of Legends or Dota with him and his sister.
Probably Dota, because he also plays Dota, and so does they play. People in Summoner's Tavern, like the main group, did play Dota before they started playing League. So that's
so I believe it because I used to have Dota installed on my old laptop. So they asked me just like, because I used to hang out with them a lot in middle school, and when they realized I was a PC gamer, they're just like, maybe you should play with us. And so I'm like, okay. So I played with them at one point, and I sucked because I had no idea what I was doing. So now that I'm a bit more experienced in the gaming community and I can understand like tactics and shit now, I could probably get into it if I really tried. So it's a thought process, but right now I have my hands full with a lot of classes and stuff. So it's a gray area. Fly in the room.
I think once you start having a lot of free time, you should try it. Because it's very fun.
Because the game looks fun. It would be my first time playing a third-person game like that. Because I guess Minecraft Dungeons counts, but it's not the same.
No.
But yeah, I like games that like have a variety and like can give people access to various play styles. So I'm hoping that I could probably get into it.
All right, so we're gonna finish off this long section about video games with talking about the future of gaming and what's to come in the next few months and or year. So we're going to talk about the big companies and talk about their progression of consoles. Specifically, we're going to talk about... So let's get started. So we're going to talk about the PS5. Obviously...
So, believe it or not, when it comes to PlayStation, the only PlayStation I've ever owned actually belongs to my dad. Because my dad actually played a lot of Madden as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, he played a lot of Madden and Tekken. And so my dad, in our entire family and in his friend group, he's the undisputed champion of both of those games. Because they're actually the only two video games that he's consistently defeated me in, and I have never won once against him. I actually trained in Tekken to try and fight him, but I just couldn't because he's too good at the game. It shows what years of experience can do to you. Mm. And so when it comes to like the PlayStation games, I've never actually owned a PlayStation other than the PS2. And so the console wars have always been what I've considered beneath me because PC Master Race, for those of you, and I'm sure I've just triggered about 90% of your viewers, but the only reason I've owned an Xbox is because I wanted to play Halo with one of my friends, and that's all I've ever used it for, other than I did use Minecraft Dungeons, and I believe Moonlighter. Moonlighter was a game I recently beat that I just adored, because it reminded me so much of my time as a child playing a game called, sorry, my earbuds just died, so I have to listen to you through my computer speaker now. So...
Searching.
Give me a second.
I couldn't find any available Bluetooth.
1 second. My Echo Dot just turned on like a piece of garbage. So, Moonlighter was a game that I played on the Xbox recently that just, honestly, it gave me so much nostalgic vibes because Drawn to Life was a big part of my childhood on the DS, so it was a really fun game. But getting back on topic with the PlayStation 5 coming out, I'm, of course, not going to buy it because, A, I don't have a TV here or in my apartment, and B, I just don't have the money to spend on a PlayStation 5 and at the same time, PC Master Race.
As someone who owned the PS4, in all honesty, I really did enjoy my PS4. I played Overwatch just like how I played League for 2 years straight. Like nonstop, I played Overwatch, just basically this exact same as League. That was all I would play. But I feel like as of recently, especially when I was stopping and when I eventually sold my PS4 for and switched it out for Nintendo Switch, I feel like Sony's titles that they've been releasing haven't been as good. They've had some gems in the past few years, like God of War, which I did play and I did have. It was so much fun.
It's hard to come out with new video games because it's like the whole thing with like writing new stories. It's like everything good has already been done, and you just have to start. The trick is to find something that's already been done, but do it in a light that it hasn't been shown in.
Yeah. Xbox, the only Xbox I ever had was the 360, and we still have it just because my parents like to use it as a DVD player. But
the 360 holds a special place in my heart because I played, because it was the first time I beat a video game all by myself without any help, and it was Halo Reach.
Yeah, that's probably the same thing for me.
Halo Reach by far is one of my favorite games that I've played just for its story.
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox what's it called that's coming out, the One S
Series Pro, I think.
Xbox Series Pro. It looks like just the Xbox's version of the GameCube, and
it does.
If I'm being like frank and like transparent, I don't really see the need for consoles to come out with like the new thing other than just to get more money, because right now there's no real extra level they can go to
with graphics.
With graphics, I mean, technically there is, because the joke about like consoles is that they like can't really maintain the 60 FPS that's like standard, and while PCs of course can go to like higher heights, and like because my laptop can like run most games at like 300 FPS if I really push it. But other than that, it's like I see the monetary and business value of bringing out these new consoles, because part of my major, because one of the things I'm doing in college is I'm studying a bit of finance in the stock market, just so I can have a stable job other than writing. So based on like what I've seen of like the markets for like Microsoft and Sony, is like I can see like they're going to benefit from the releases of these new consoles, just because of like their loyal customers who will purchase these. So it's a matter of just like, it doesn't feel like it's more of a video game aspect, and it's honestly just them trying to make money.
And finally, we're going to talk about the rumor that Nintendo will be releasing a Nintendo Switch sequel either next year or the year after.
So they're going to do a new Nintendo Switch?
Like a 2.0, like a brand new one. I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like the Nintendo Switch is perfect the way it is.
You see, I'm not disagreeing with you, because as somebody who owns, like, I don't own the official Nintendo Switch. I was cheap and bought the Nintendo Switch Lite because I wasn't going to play any of the games where I really required to dock it. I just wanted Breath of the Wild and the new Pokemon. But so the issue that Nintendo has always really had Nintendo's market is nostalgia. Like, they like act, because they have like managed to like milk every single one of their franchises. Like, think about it: Mario, Pokemon, Super Smash Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and they haven't done a lot of Metroid recently. But so all of those games they can continuously make sequels for, and each of the games that they usually make are stunning in both art style and gameplay, because they always add something new to them. So it keeps the idea fresh. Like I said, like, you have to do something that's been done in a new light. So what ends up happening is the main way that they're now trying to like compete with like these new consoles coming out is they're going to have to create a console that can run games on the standard that PlayStation and Xbox can. Because right now, like, you've noticed that like the Switch cannot like hold the FPS and graphics value that the PlayStation and Xbox can. Yeah. So if they somehow were to do that, they would probably be very successful, because at that point, that's a handheld video game console that can run games of high quality that people enjoy, and add graphics and FPS that they're used to with the other consoles. So, and also at the same time, Nintendo's like gotten Minecraft into their roster, and and like a long time ago, they had actually like Call of Duty for the Wii, which honestly shocked me more than anything. But yeah, so it's a matter of just like them competing with the bigger companies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
I think it's a smart business move, but as someone who owns a Nintendo Switch, I personally don't want them to come out with a new console, because I like my Switch the way it is.
Yeah, that's the big main thing. Just like, will people buy it? Because the only reason people are going to buy it is to create games that don't want it.
Oh, you're lagging a little bit. Am
I lagging? Am I still lagging?
No, now you're good.
Okay, but yeah, but what I said was essentially like, the way that like Nintendo has so far like made a crap ton of money off of me, at least, is they've made new games that can only be run on the latest console. If you think about it, the 3DS, they still give it the capability to run regular DS games, but all the new and fun games came out only be able to be played on the 3DS. Same with the Game Boy, same with the Wii and the Wii U, and now the Nintendo Switch. So it's like the gaming companies are really good at like giving their like fans what they want, and at the same time making a huge profit off of them.
I feel like people not wanting to buy a new Nintendo Switch kind of goes the same thing with the PS5 and Xbox Series Pro. I've seen a lot of people online talking about how the PS5 probably isn't even going to be that much different than the PS4. Like, it's going to feel almost the exact same, especially since PS4 already has HD capability.
Well, here's the thought on that. Here's the thought that I just came up with. A lot of the consoles, the main struggle with having a console is oftentimes it doesn't have enough storage to like have every single one of your games installed at once. So like because if you know GTA 5, that game destroys memory. So what you potentially have to do is what I think that they're going for with, because if you look at the Xbox Series Pro, it's a big bulky machine, but that means it can have like 3 times the more storage cards that the Xbox One and Xbox 360 had. And I don't know how PlayStation's going to do it, but because you could honestly, it's a matter of just like if they have more storage than these other games, then that defeats the purpose of just like doing what I believe people are doing, and just like because some people I heard like were getting like actual like hard drives, and they would store files from their like PlayStation and Xbox onto them and just plug it into them later on so they could access them. So if they increase the storage amount for each game, then it probably would make a decent amount of money.
I'm personally not gonna buy the PS5 or Xbox Series Pro. The only console I might end up buying if it eventually comes out is the new Nintendo Switch. We'll have to see how expensive it is because Nintendo never reduces their prices on anything. They don't. Like the Wii U is still like $200.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's honestly really hilarious because a lot of if you think about it, a lot of their games, when they come out with a new console that can't play them anymore, or they come out with like a new console like this, because I was actually looking recently or a couple weeks ago for a copy of Pokemon Platinum because I owned Pokemon Diamond as a kid and I heard good things about Platinum, so I'm like, okay, let's look on Amazon for Pokemon Platinum. Pokemon Platinum currently goes for about $200 to $300 on Amazon.
Why?
Because they don't make copies of it anymore, and it's such a good game.
Yeah.
So a lot of Nintendo's games eventually do become collector's items.
Yeah.
That can be worth a lot of money. Because just look at the amiibos. Like eventually, when those become obsolete, there's just going to be those fanatics out there that'll pay hundreds of dollars just to get their hands on a certain one.
Because I have a feeling they're probably gonna stop production on those soon because no one I feel like really buys them.
Right. So as soon as they stop production, they're gonna at that point.
It's a cool concept, like turning like their own version of Funko Pops into like actual things you can use.
Right, and it kind of gave me Skylanders vibes.
Yeah. It's definitely in that style, but I don't know. Well, that was video games. That section took us a long time, so I think we're gonna try to move on. So next. This is going to be a topic that Zach mainly talks about because I personally don't have as much experience with... Let's just get into it. So we're going to talk about anime.
Oh, boy.
One of Zach's main things he talks about a lot when we're playing video games.
To be perfectly honest, I am a weak anime nerd. Because I only watch certain animes, like I haven't watched a lot of the classics that are out there, but anime does have a special place in my heart. A, because it's part of some of my family's culture, and B, because it's part of my major. So, yeah, anime is great. I mean, for people who make the joke that it's all hentai, you're wrong. There's a lot of just wholesome value in it, and there's a lot of good lessons to be learned. So shame on you for stereotyping that. But so anime. I've watched my fair share of the shonen trio. I haven't watched One Piece. I choose not to. I failed to watch all of Naruto because I got lost in the filler, which I'm sure plenty of you can attest to. And then the main show that I have, my first anime that I watched all the way through, no breaks whatsoever, and that I can continue watching is Bleach. That's my favorite anime of all time. It's my opinion. I won't say your opinion is wrong unless you think all anime is hentai. Then your opinion is like wronger than wrong. But so I did watch all of Dragon Ball, and I have watched all of Dragon Ball Super, and I know enough about Naruto and enough about One Piece to like hold a conversation with people. I did watch all of Cowboy Bebop. That was a good classic anime that I've seen. But just to talk about just anime as a whole in general, the main thing that got me into it that was Studio Ghibli. For those of you who don't know, there's a series of movies made by a certain company. I think they're called G Kids now, but they were originally Studio Ghibli, and a lot of my favorite films of all time come from that company. They don't make like anime like as a TV show. They make actual films within the art style. They're a Japanese-owned company, and the main animator, who's still alive today, is by far like one of the most inspiring people out there, and his son is actually really good too. But my favorite movies from that company are Kiki's Delivery Service, Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, and I'm sure you've all heard. I'm sure those of you who are in the anime community have at least heard of those titles or seen them yourselves, and good for you if you have. Other than that, so and like I don't know enough, like a lot of like I don't know anime to the extent as some other people do, but I do know my fair share, as you can clearly tell. The culture itself is extremely well done because a lot of times, like, because I have a lot of friends who watch it, not as much as I do apparently, but it's still something good because I can make recommendations. Like I've made recommendations to my friend Will and to my friend Ben, and I've actually made suggestions to Jake. Whether or not he listens to them is totally up to him, but he usually doesn't. So when it comes to anime as a whole, one of the recent animes that have actually come out that I've actually like adored for the longest time now is Tower of God, which
You're
initially
lagging.
I'm lagging. How much? Am I back?
Yes.
Okay, so the most recent anime that I've seen and that I've enjoyed was Tower of God. And Tower of God is fantastic, and you should totally go watch it. The anime itself is really good. I mean, they've only come out with one season, and it's on Crunchyroll. Not sponsored, but go watch it. It's really good. I recommend it 10 out of 10. What I'd mainly recommend about that series is the webcomic behind it. If you look on Webtoons, it's free to read. It's got over 500, I think, chapters of it, and now is the perfect time actually to catch up on it because the writer is currently on hiatus. But honestly, the story itself is fantastic, and it's one of those stories that you can really enjoy. So I have not. So when it comes to the recent animes that have come out, I have not seen. I've not seen God of High School. That's something that I've been intending to get into. I just haven't had the time. Another one that I've come out with is the latest season of Sword Art Online, and I'm just gonna make a disclaimer here. Sword Art Online started out really good, but it devolved for a bit into something that something that wasn't exactly like good, and it's not really like much I like to talk about. But I still watched it, and I enjoyed the bits of it that were worth enjoying. But the most recent two seasons, the Alicization, was beyond fantastic. Jake, I don't know if you've seen it.
Sword Art Online? Or
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it. The only thing I know is that in middle school, I can't believe we're mentioning him again, but Chris Martinez and his sister Nicole, I just remember they were obsessed with it. I've never seen it personally, but I've heard good things.
It's a good series. It has some interesting elements to it here and there that just we shouldn't talk about on live. There's as the main double-edged sword of anime is fan service, and let's be honest, every single format of TV does this. You just kind of you have to look past the fan service. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to enjoying a good anime.
Those are good.
Yeah, that's the most recent thing I've watched. I do a show that I've actually sort of enjoyed recently is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
I've
That
heard
one's
of
actually
that.
really I'm honestly really enjoying reading the manga. And another one that's not recent but at the same time relevant to the times is My Hero Academia. I honestly enjoy it. It's the first superhero anime that I've actually like genuinely
Yeah,
like
me too. That's
had
actually
a
one
fun
I've watched.
time. Yeah, I've read the manga, so I know like I'm one of those people who knows all the dark secrets, and every time there's a big reveal and the anime watchers lose their minds, I'm just stagnant because I've already endured it.
I am not so. I do watch. I've only seen like a few different series of anime. It's been a long time, but I did watch Soul Eater years ago. Like
So it was really good.
it
I
was
need to
really
get around.
good. I need to rewatch it. It's been probably about 7 years since I've watched it. Um, I've watched because we're on what season 4, season 3 of My Hero Academia currently. That's airing right now.
Well, season 4 was just released in the anime, and season 5 is coming out soon.
Yes. So I've seen seasons 1 and season 2. I got about, I think, more than halfway through season 3 before I ended up stopping because I was watching My Hero Academia through Hulu, and I think that it got to a point where that like the remaining episodes of season 3 weren't on Hulu yet because they released them like when like the different volumes come out. So season three is are like, and probably like half of season 4 is probably on Hulu right now, so I could definitely watch it on there if I wanted to. Um,
Right.
but like it got to a point where I like when I was watching season 3 and they weren't on Hulu, I had to start watching them like on like a website, and there were ads everywhere, and like and so it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to watch this just because of the ads, which ruined the show for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. It's why I made the investment into like a Crunchyroll like premium
Yeah.
account because it's honestly something that I like that I know I'm going to continuously use as anime that I enjoy comes out and it just gets rid of the ads. I can't stand advertisements.
No, during anime,
It's why I actually
okay. Advertisements during anime or cartoons are the worst thing in the world. Like during like regular TV, it's fine, but like during like anime, when like big things are happening like all the time, it's the worst.
my main thing, the main reason I like stopped like I haven't watched like cable television in so long was A, I didn't have access to a TV for the past few weeks. B, the commercials like killed me, and so I would just wait because I also got the app for the CW, which allows me to watch like TV shows like The Flash and Arrow on a regular basis without having to deal with too many advertisements. Just commercials, man. Like, half of the time they're just for stuff that I had no interest in buying.
Yeah.
So it just was a matter of just like I can't stand it. I'll wait till it comes out on a streaming service.
Oh my god. When I think of ads, this doesn't have to do with anime, but specifically on YouTube right now,
Right.
YouTube as of recently, basically like in almost every creator's videos, instead of one ad, they do two now.
Yeah, it's
And
like I understand that a lot of times ad revenue does like support creators in a way, and that's how they make their main source of money from YouTube. But the main thing when it comes to advertisements and like streaming services, especially when I'm streaming anime, is just like half the time I know nobody's benefiting from it nobody's because it's just the companies saying, "Hey, buy my product that you have no interest in buying."
yeah. Like there's
I've
this
always
like this ad is like forever stuck in my head because it plays before every single YouTube video I watch. It's an H&M ad where it's just this girl and she has like a hat and she just like throws it at the screen. I'm like, cool. And it's like a 6-second ad with like this song that's like, if you ask if it's my birthday, what are we celebrating? Dance to the, and then like she throws the hat and it annoys the fuck out of me.
advertisements, like especially the main things I've hated so far, watching over and over again, is AFK Arena. I haven't seen a lot of Raid Shadow Legends recently, but they're there.
Yeah, they're
All
there.
of the mobile game lie ads because I don't get the like if the games that they were advertising were what they were supposed to show, what they were actually like marketing for. Like, if Raid Shadow Legends was half the game that they show it to be on their advertisements, I would probably play it. Same with AFK Arena, but both of those games are total lies, and it's stupid.
Yeah. And at this point, they've just become a meme. Like, no one takes the games. No one takes the game seriously, at all.
Right. Because they're just shoved down your throat, and makes sense. A lot of those games that allow you like role characters are like skyrocketing in popularity right now because like I guess I don't know, it's interesting to say the least. I played one of them, but that's it. But back on the topic of anime, speaking of gacha games, one of the animes that I like really recommend to people is the Fate series. So for those of you who don't know what Fate is, I'm not going to go into bothering explaining it because I could you can write an entire book on how Fate works, and explaining this to people in the amount of time we have would take me a few centuries. But Fate is a really good anime, every single version of it, from Fate Stay Night, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, Fate Zero, Fate Apocrypha, Fate Grand Order, and I believe those are the only ones they've actually made into an anime. But I highly recommend all of them. I've watched most of them because it's just I'm a loyal fan, and I've enjoyed most of the series. The soundtracks for them, especially in Unlimited Blade Works, were fantastic. And on the topic of soundtracks, 90% of the playlist that I have on my phone is just anime music because a lot of times the creators put their heart and soul into making them.
Oh yeah.
I honestly have found anime music to be better than what I find on mainstream content right now.
Sometimes, yeah. So now we're.
That's all I have to say on the topic.
All right. Well, right before we move on to the last and final section of the podcast, which is actually really short, we're gonna talk about more so American cartoons, or I guess you could still call it anime in a way. Recently I started getting into the Ruby series, which is by Rooster Teeth.
You just got into that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had it, I've been aware of this show, for years upon years, because, me and my friend Madison, we went to AwesomeCon, 2 years ago, and when we went there, the voice actress for, I think it was the voice actress for Weiss and Yang were there.
That's cool.
And so, they did that,
So, I watched Ruby since the beginning. Well, that's a lie. My friend, who was a fan of Rooster Teeth in its early days, when Ruby got to season 2, I started watching it, and at first I was a bit iffy on it, but it's actually grown on me as a series, and there's a lot of controversy when it comes to the series, and part of that is because the initial creator of it, Monty Oum, he passed away early on, and bless his heart and all that. He was a fantastic content creator and an even better animator. But so Ruby, I enjoy the series. I enjoy the series. I have my predictions. I have my opinions on it. So oftentimes when you see the fandom losing their, excuse my language here, losing their shit over oftentimes minor things, it kind of it doesn't annoy me, but it kind of just enjoy the show, dude. If you don't like the show, then don't watch it. What they've done with it so far is probably what I feel is best for the series, and I've enjoyed it immensely.
I am, I think, halfway through season 2. I only started watching it 3 weeks ago. I have
now, Ruby does not become less of an emotional roller coaster.
Oh god.
Ever. Ruby itself is an emotional roller coaster.
I guess I could talk about some of the plot points that have hit me really hard over the first season and half of the second season. The whole reveal of Blake being a faunus was like really, and how like she had to deal with like them finding out. Also, her cat ears are adorable, and I never even really noticed that she never took her ribbon off. Like I never like really thought about that, and that whole reveal.
It's something that I always assumed from her behavior and the fact just. It's something that I've it's something that didn't really faze me, but I was just like, oh, that's good to know. Yeah. Diversity. Character development.
I will say, Ruby getting started, it took me, I think, 1 or 2 episodes to really get invested with the characters.
Right.
Because, I mean, I was in Discord when I was telling people I was, like, watching the episodes and, like, was typing my thoughts as I was watching. Because, like, people in Summoner's Tavern, like, they're all, like, Ruby fans. And so... the first episode, I hated Weiss with a passion. The moment Weiss came on my screen in the first 2 episodes, I was like, I hate this bitch. I'm never gonna enjoy this girl. And then about halfway through the first season, I was like, oh my god, wait, I was so wrong. I was like,
exactly.
I was like, shit. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh god.
This is actually
I made too much of an early judgment. I love their the fighting scenes and the fighting style of this anime is so unique to anything I've ever seen before.
Ruby itself has done like really good things in the community of like animation and TV shows because of that. It's just a really good. It's an anime that is within a future setting that feels like it's both an apocalyptic series and a fantasy series at the same time. It is what I feel like it's done is it's combined both a perfect balance of technology and magic into one, and it's something I've immensely enjoyed. Who's your favorite character out of all of the in the entire series so far?
Oh god, that's so hard. Because there's different aspects of every character. I think Blake is my favorite. I'm almost 100. I think I would say Blake's my favorite. But I just love Ruby and Yang's relationship as sisters. They're so cute. And then
it's a very adorable dynamic. Have you met Uncle Crow yet?
Who?
Uncle Crow.
No.
Oh my gosh, he is by far my favorite character. And when you meet him, he's great.
Right now, from what I can remember, what was going on before I stopped watching like a week ago, I have to keep watching, but like a week ago, I think it's been like a week since I watched an episode. Was Emerald and Mercury, right? They're in the school.
Okay.
And they're like, and I can't remember the fire lady's name off the top of my head.
Cinder.
She's
one of my top as well. Say what you want. I actually like her.
Ironically, she's hot.
No, not ironically.
No, but no, I was just saying it as a joke. Yeah, so like they're in the school and they infiltrated. I think I'm on the episode right after the dance where John came in with the dress.
That was a very good scene.
That was so funny. Oh my god, why did I stop watching after that? Because that was actually such a good episode. Where where he asked Weiss to the dance, she said no. And they were like, you won't know how it feels to be a girl until you're in her shoes. And then he came in with a dress, and I said, king shit. John is a dope, but I love him.
John, he's the lovable dork.
Yes. And Petra, and he needs to treat Petra with better respect. Petra. Nah.
No, that difference. Petra's great.
I ship them so hard. I want them to fall in love, and I'm sure they will.
Viewers who have watched Ruby up to and are caught up, or at least past season 3. I honestly, Jake, what I need you to do is when you watch the episode and you're actually, I'm gonna find the episode later. and I'm gonna send you what episode you need to watch yourself. And you just need to record your reaction to it.
I could start filming reactions to RWBY, but like, I'm already halfway through.
I'm not gonna say if it's good or bad. I'm just gonna say
I could start streaming my reactions to RWBY, but at the same time, like, would people even like want to watch that?
Well, you have to deal with
copyright.
Like copyright.
But I mean, on Twitch, would I like my streams get taken down? I don't know.
I think so, but regardless, you need just. There's a moment I need you to react to for this specific reason.
Okay. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, I could start recording my reaction to RWBY and post on YouTube, but like,
this is an instance where I value keeping up with the series and I just love it. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cry over it, but
I'm assuming that John and Pira. Yeah, no, okay. You shouldn't have said anything. You shouldn't have said anything.
But something happens, and now make you worried.
Now I have different theories, and I'm scared. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get any hint as if my theories are correct. Because I have like 3 different theories I could possibly have in what I think you're talking about. But
regardless, RWBY's a great show, and I love it.
Yes.
And it's honestly done really well so far. And its most recent season, I actually enjoyed immensely. And the last episode of the most recent season was depressing as all hell. I'm not going to spoil anything, but my main thing is there's got to be something good that happens in the next season. Like I need something good to happen. That's all I'm going to say.
So we're going to wrap up this podcast with talking about a short topic that is coming around the corner. You can't see, but I am wearing my Jason Voorhees hockey jersey, as it is spooky season.
Spooky season.
It is spooky season. We are, we're 10 days into spooky season already, which is crazy.
20 days into spooky day.
Yes. And so, we're going to start with going back to video games. Something that was revealed today on Twitter, I saw, and on YouTube, is Overwatch's Halloween event. And a lot of things are dropping on the 13th of this month. But Overwatch's Halloween event starts in 3 days. Skins look very nice. Maybe I might play a little bit. We'll see.
Honestly, the only skin that I've gotten from an event that I wanted was the Genji Kendo skin.
Okay. So, it is the Halloween season, so we cannot talk about the Halloween season without talking about growing up and having Halloween parties. So
for the viewers who don't know this, Jake has, when we were in high school and sometimes in middle school, threw a bunch of parties. And they're always Halloween themed, and I went to a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And most of my costumes were the exact same every year. Yes. It was me in a mask with a black set of clothing on. And there was actually a tactical reason for that fact, is because every year we would play hide and seek, and I was determined to win. And I have before.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely won a few times. Yes.
So the actual my favorite win in that, because actually among a bunch of my friend groups, I'm the champion hide and seek, which is a shocker because I'm usually the tallest.
I won this year. Last year, I remember I won last year. I remember.
I don't remember if I went to yours last year because I might have had an event.
I think you did, but yeah, last year I remember I won. Hide and seek.
Yeah. Jake's parties were always something I look forward to going to every time he had one because it was just a good time to decompress with friends, and oftentimes it would end with us playing video games or some shizno. And so oftentimes I would spend the night. And
hey Zach,
I got food.
I have one word for you, and this might bring back trauma. Kazoo.
Oh.
For the viewers that don't know, sometimes when we had parties, we had some of our friends stay overnight. One night, was pure. One of these parties went into pure chaos, and one night while Zach was sleeping, me and all of the people that were still awake decided, hey, we're gonna use Sharpie and we're gonna just write on Zach.
I woke up the next morning, and the best part is they did this when I was wearing sweatpants, so
Yes.
I didn't know until I went home and got ready for my shower. I looked at my leg, and I had to do a double take because I'm just like, what's on my leg? And it wasn't even a good kazoo. It honestly looked like they drew Satan's pentagram on my on my thigh.
Yeah.
And not on my thigh, on my calf. And I looked at this, and I called Jake, and I'm like, dude, what the actual bleeding F did you guys do to me? And at the time, Jake completely denied that he had any part of it, and he totally shifted the blame onto our other two friends. And now that I'm hearing that he did it himself, that he was part of it, sleep with one eye open, pal.
Yeah, they like involved me. They like woke me up. They're like, hey, we're gonna do like a prank on Zach. I was like, okay. I was like, shit.
Never be the first to fall asleep.
No.
Never be the wake up.
Do not. Which is why when I have sleepovers with people, I always lock my door. I'm like, no one getting me today. Yeah.
The main reason I've like started to like heed those rules is because my dad once told me a story about my uncle and how when my uncle would go on a ski trip with all of his friends, and that whoever was the last person to wake up every morning got tasered. And I'm not talking like poke on the sides. I'm talking they took a literal taser and tasered somebody. So I've learned my lesson on sleeping in when I'm in presence of certain friends.
Yes. All right, so
yeah.
We're gonna end with one last question about Halloween. What is your favorite Halloween candy of all time?
This is a candy that I've never actually gotten to eat, but I will continue to search for it in every grocery store that I go to. There was once a chocolate bar called Three Musketeers Mint.
Oh.
And I've never had one. I've only seen the commercials for it a long time ago, and I've always wanted to eat one, and I've never gotten one. I've had Three Musketeers chocolate bar, but I want the mint one. And I can't find it.
Damn.
But all in all, my favorite Halloween candy is probably going to be Airheads or Laffy Taffy.
Damn. See, like, I haven't had candy in months because, as people know, I've been on a diet for the past, like, 3.5 months, so I have not had, like, any chocolate or any candy of the sort in the past 3 months. So, when I think about candy, I think about what I used to like. My main one was probably, like, during Halloween, my favorites were probably, like, Skittles. Twizzlers were always, like, a huge favorite of mine.
A candy that I've honestly enjoyed, not for the reasons you think, is Skittles sour with the sour sugar petals over it.
Yeah.
Those things are the closest thing to LSD that you can get in a candy.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Skittles are a fave, and Mike and Ike's I love too.
You're just kind of on the floor if you eat enough of them.
Yeah. But I'm completely staying away from candy, which sucks, because, like, this is going to be the first Halloween where, like, I'm not going to have any candy.
Just do a cheat day where you just eat a crap ton of
candy.
Well,
no, I'm sure when Halloween comes, I'll probably have a piece of candy. But, like, my stomach right now is like, ew.
Here, Jake.
Yes.
What is going to be your Halloween costume this year?
Halloween costume this year? I don't have one.
I have thought of one, and I've still worked on putting it together. I'm trying to go as Guzma from Pokemon Sun and Moon.
That is actually so good. And the thing is, you have the hair for it, too.
I do have the hair for it. I'm not going to get my hair cut until after Halloween, but I'm going to go as Guzma. I'm still working on getting his jacket and his glasses.
That's actually would be so good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You're like Guzma.
Oh, that's so good, actually.
So
I mean, my past Halloween costumes, I never did really anything super creative. One time I had a fucking Minecraft cow head on my head.
Costumes are good, especially the good ones.
1 year I wanted to go as Cloud Strife because I have the big ass sword, but it didn't end up working out.
I mean, your big ass sword is a mini version. Like when he says big ass sword, it's a sword, but it's the size of a normal sword, just in the shape of a Buster sword.
Yeah. I had a Genji. I have a Genji mask. I have a Oni Genji mask and an Oni Genji sword. Actually, let me get that real quick.
He has them, and it's actually very interesting.
Yeah, like I have like a literal Oni Genji sword that I got from a convention, and it's actually so nice. Like it's not a real sword, but it literally looks like the real thing. So I love it.
Another costume I might do is if the stream can see, there's a picture up on my wall.
Yeah, they can. I mean, people who's listening to the audio, they can't see, but yeah.
Well, for those of you who are just listening to the audio, there's a picture up on my wall that there was an art commission that was a graduation gift for me and my roommate, and it's us if we were characters in Tower of God, and I honestly would be willing to cosplay in that outfit that I'm wearing in the picture, so that's another option that I might do, especially if I go to a convention sometime.
Nice.
Might not happen for a while because here we are.
Yeah.
But
the thing is they moved AwesomeCon to December, but at this point it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to postpone it again to next summer or something.
Yeah, but to end on a happy note, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Good conversation, good topics.
Yes.
Please don't hate me on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, the main people who listen to this podcast are just our friends and maybe some people in Summoner's Tavern, so it's not that big of a deal.
Don't hate me on Twitter or Discord.
Nah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun as usual. I do not have anyone scheduled for our next podcast. I'll just figure that out.
Get David.
Well, the thing is, I actually thought about it last night. I was like, oh, I should have invited David to be part of this podcast because it would have been really cool for you guys to talk about how you met and stuff. Maybe a future podcast. Maybe after I get a few more, we can do that again.
Are you gonna do Madison next?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe next week we'll talk about specifically get into K-pop and talk about our best friend evolution, etc., and how we met and stuff, because Madison and I had a journey. When I say a journey, we had a journey, and the fact that we've only known each other for 4 years and we've gone through so much together in only that amount of time is crazy. So
it's insane.
I think probably we're gonna talk about next week K-pop and high school.
K-pop and high school.
So next week is gonna be tea time. It's gonna be tea time. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. If you guys are listening to audio, I appreciate you guys listening. If you guys are watching from YouTube, hello. And I will see you guys next week, or if we can't do next week, then sometime soon in the future, probably before the end of the month.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.